Good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday. I'm so thrilled you're here. I'm Rita Hickman, body mind expert, shiatsu massage therapist, and I help women who are in toxic and narcissistic relationships get themselves out. So today, I do these live streams every morning, Monday through Friday. Today, we're talking about the difference between pity and compassion towards a narcissist. So, many times when people are in a narcissistic relationship, whether it's temporary for 6 months or whether it's been 40 years, no matter what it may be, there is uh, damage done. There's a lot of emotional trauma that happens that goes in and out and underneath. Hang on just a second. All right. I just had to take care of a little computer request. Anyways, if you've been in a relationship for a short amount of time or a long amount of time, there's going to be trauma and there's going to be anger and there's going to be hurt and you're going to have visions of, people of the narcissist holding you hostage in different situations, whether it's a car or a room or somebody else's house or in the bathroom. You're going to have memories of standing there being shouted at or screamed at or manipulated. You're going to have memories of um, feeling crazy, of feeling out of your mind, of having your emotions go up and down and through and under. There's going to be guilt and shame and hurt and frustration and brokenness. And it makes perfect, it's so understandable that you are angry. Absolutely. And that you want to have no pity and no compassion. It doesn't even matter what the difference is. You don't want to have either one of it. And I don't blame you. But the reason we start moving towards compassion is because it brings us a sense of peace. So, what's the difference between pity and compassion, and why should we care? One of the first steps when you start to get out of narcissistic situations is one of the things you can do is to start to feel sorry for the other person. Oh, I feel so sorry for them. Their life is so screwed up. I'd hate to be them. It must be terrible. And what that does is it creates a power differential, which can help you feel better. It can be like, you know what, you're really screwed up, and I'm glad you're not you. Psychologically, it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. But the problem with that is when we stay in the place of judgmentalism, when we stay in the place of pity, oh, that must be terrible. It creates a lot of feelings inside of us which don't make you feel good, which aren't healthy. It's very one sided of I would never do that, or I would never be that way, or I would never talk to anyone that way. And you're right, you probably wouldn't, because you don't have that sort of issue. That's not what you struggle with. You probably struggle with other things like a sensitive nervous system or codependency or a high empathy level, or past PTSD for yourself as well. So, I mean, there's all sorts of reasons why, you know, why it's not a good idea to have pity for someone for too long. Because what happens is that it creates this conflict, this dissonance in you that makes you feel even crazier. But if you move towards compassion, and what is compassion? Compassion is when you look at both sides compassionately, both sides with understanding, both sides with curiosity and depth, and be like, hey, what's going on here? Because you know what? You got into a relationship with a narcissist for a good reason. And if you start to vilify them or start to make them the devil or put them in the dungeon for too long, those words, those thoughts are in your head. They're in your head. And you need to stop thinking those because you're the one who's being most affected by it. You're the one that it's making most hurt and most angry. It's not affecting them. They've got their own lunacy universe that they're living in. But for you, those words and those thoughts will tear you apart. But compassion is when you come into a situation and you say, you know what, what's going on? Who are you? Why do you do this? And to trust yourself. You know what? I got into this relationship for a good reason. I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to trust that I made good decisions that put me on the path that I need to be on. Because if you don't trust yourself, and pity makes you not trust yourself, it makes you trust yourself even less. And then you feel like you betrayed yourself and you'll never be able to trust yourself. That's so normal. But moving towards you know what, you're screwed up, I'm screwed up. Let's look at what's going on a little bit deeper and sort it out. That sort of compassionate point of view helps you heal. It helps you find peace. Because then it's not you're bad and I'm good, or I'm bad and you're good, or how could I do this to myself, or why would I let myself go through this? You know what? You made the best decisions that you know how. You did the best that you could, and you can trust yourself. And you know what? The narcissist can't do. They made the best decisions that they knew how. They made the best choices that they knew how. Granted, it's a whole different universe of reality, one that's based on insecurity and hurt and brain functioning and amygdala going crazy. Absolutely, it's totally based on a whole different reality. But from their reality, they're doing the best that they know how. And when we can look at the situation from a little bit of that open compassion, when we can look at it from, you know what, we're all doing the best that we know how. What happens is you find a sense of peace. You find a sense of acceptance and forgiveness and healing just for you. It's just for you. And the thoughts that go into your head are now kind, because you don't want to be thinking things that you would say to your enemy. You want to think things that you would say to your best friend, you, because you're the one who's talking to you. You're the one who has these voices in your head now. It may sound just like the narcissist. It may sound like your mom or your spouse or your kid. That's what that voice sounds out. But you know what? You need to get that voice out of your head. That's their crazy. That's their difficulty. That's their issue to deal with. Your issue is to find peace and love and openness and wholeness and joy. And that's where your focus needs to be. And that's where compassion fits. Pity fits in the, you know what? You know, you're clearly evil. And now you're thinking, you're clearly evil, 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 evil. I mean, it brainwashes you and makes your inner world angry and hurt and frustrated and upset. But when you think you're doing the best that you know how, you're doing the best that you know how. Doesn't mean you have to tolerate it, doesn't mean you don't leave, doesn't mean you don't do things to protect yourself, but your thoughts now are healing thoughts. Compassion is a healing thought, it's a healing vibration and energy, and that's what you want. You want yourself to heal, and you want the world to heal if you can. And if it means no contact, that's fine. But the thoughts in your head need to be compassionate, because they're your thoughts. They're in your head. You're the one who's listening to them. Nobody else is. It's not going to affect anybody the same way. So if you possibly can, move away from pity. Wow, your life is really messed up. Well, that's not me. Move away from that into the, you know what, we all have issues. We're doing the best that we know how. What's the best thing I can do for myself right now that will keep me in a higher vibration, that will keep me thinking more clearly and nurturing and nourishing myself. Those are the thoughts that you want, the ones that encourage you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. Okay? So that's the difference between pity and compassion for a narcissist. It has to do with how you treat yourself. Okay? So if you feel stuck, if you need help with this, community really is the answer. Positive, strong, creative, helpful, healthy community. If you need community, we've got a lot of options. I've got a whole free live stream library of narcissistic videos. We've got a beautiful group coaching program that I run, and then I also do one-on-one coaching. And they can all be combined too. That's not a problem. We can get you where you need to be, which is happy and healthy and balanced, without feeling that you're broken, and without continuing to repeat the patterns that tell you that you're no good and that you deserve this. You get to break those patterns and start to create a life that you really love. Okay? So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.